Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are making their first public appearance as a family.
You got yourself a 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And so you have a daughter, and what do you have in second?
We haven't told anyone we're having a boy.
Wyatt Kutcher just said something about her dad Ashton that left fans completely stunned. It all happened during a normal family day, but what Wyatt shared was far from ordinary. It was funny, brave, and incredibly unexpected. Can you believe a 10-year-old could make such a bold statement that's now the center of attention online? Let us dive into this surprising moment that caused Mila to file the divorce from the famous actor. A Hollywood dad gets called out. Now, Ashton and Mila have always been low-key about their family life. They're Hollywood royalty, sure, but they've worked hard to keep their kids out of the limelight. Wyatt and her younger brother Dimitri aren't splashed all over tabloids or paraded around red carpets. It's a deliberate choice, a way to give their children a taste of normalcy in a life that's anything but. Yet Wyatt's offhand comment blew the lid off their usual quiet family vibe. Before we delve into Wyatt's surprising words, it's clear that this playful remark is far more revealing than anyone could have guessed, and it won't be the only thing that will shock you. Picture this. A bystander hears a young voice say, "Daddy isn't really as cool as he thinks he is." That's it. Simple, direct, and absolutely hilarious. For anyone who's grown up rolling their eyes at their parents, it's a vibe we all get. But coming from the daughter of that 70s show legend and Hollywood's go-to charming dude, that's next-level gold. Fans immediately latched on to the moment. Twitter lit up with memes and jokes, with people saying things like, "She's just saying what we've all been thinking since day one," and "She's already funnier than Ashton ever was." Others saw it as a glimpse into a refreshingly grounded family dynamic. For a kid to roast her dad so openly, you know there's got to be a lot of love and humor at play. Now let's be real. Being a kid in Hollywood can't be easy. The constant spotlight, the endless judgment, and the pressure to measure up to famous parents. That's a tall order for anyone, let alone a 10-year-old. But if this quip tells us anything, it's that Ashton and Mila are doing something right. They're raising kids who aren't afraid to speak their minds and, more importantly, poke fun at life and themselves. Ashton's reaction to all this? Pretty much what you'd expect from a guy who's built his brand on being the easygoing, self-deprecating type. He reportedly laughed it off, even embracing the moment as a sign of his daughter's growing personality. And why wouldn't he? For a dad who's always championed humor and humility, this was probably a proud parenting win. Think about it. How many kids feel comfortable enough to publicly tease their parents, let alone when those parents are Hollywood stars? It's a testament to the kind of household Ashton and Mila have created. They've prioritized honesty, individuality, and a healthy dose of humor, which is no small feat in an industry that's all about appearances. But let's not forget the bigger picture. That cheeky jab wasn't just a funny moment, it was a peek into the life of a family that's managing to keep it real in a world full of glitz and pretense. It's rare, and it's refreshing. And honestly, it's what makes this story stick. Still, it's hard not to wonder what's next for their daughter. She's already making headlines with her sharp wit and bold personality. Is she destined to follow in her parents' footsteps, or will she carve out her own unique path? Whatever the case, one thing's for sure. She's a name we're going to be hearing a lot more of. Re-hooking you into this tale again, it's clear that her comment did more than just make us laugh. It highlighted something deeper about fame, family, and what it means to raise grounded kids in an ungrounded world. The Kutcher-Kunis clan may be A-list, but moments like this remind us that they're just as human as the rest of us. And let's face it, who doesn't love a little family drama served with a side of humor? As we dig deeper, one question keeps coming back. Is this boldness a sign of the changing dynamic in celebrity families? Or is it just the innocence of a kid who's learning to navigate her unique world? Either way, her statement has left an impact that's not going to fade anytime soon. What other surprises does the Kutcher household have in store for us? Before you think this is just another lighthearted Hollywood anecdote, consider the layers here. There's a lot to unpack about parenting styles, fame, and the evolving role of celebrity kids in the public eye. That little remark is like a thread that, when pulled, unravels so much more about how these families operate and what it means to grow up in such an extraordinary environment. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, you realize there's still so much left unsaid. Her words have opened a door, and behind it there's a story that's far bigger than a single comment. It's about family, identity, and the way humor can bridge the gap between generations, even when that gap is filled with Hollywood glitz. This moment isn't just about a dad getting roasted by his kid, it's a snapshot of what makes the Kutcher-Cooney's family so fascinating. They're navigating a world that's anything but ordinary, and they're doing it with a sense of authenticity that's rare in their industry. Wyatt's funny comment gives us a new way to see Ashton, showing the real dad behind the famous face. A dad's fame through his daughter's eyes. It's funny how one little comment can flip the script on someone's entire public image. Wyatt Kutcher's casual jab at her dad brought the internet's attention back to the guy we all once knew as the ultimate goofball from That '70s Show. For years, he was everyone's favorite carefree actor, nailing roles that played up his charm and silliness. But Wyatt's remark? That hit different. Not because it's some deep critique, but because it gave us a peek behind the curtain at how he's seen at home. And honestly, isn't that what people love? Seeing stars knock down a peg by their own kids. Sure, his career evolved. He's no longer just the guy cracking jokes on TV. He's a tech entrepreneur, an activist, and the face behind Thorn, a nonprofit fighting child exploitation. That's some serious work, and he's gained a lot of respect for it. But Wyatt's playful dig reminded us that no matter how polished his public image gets, he's still a regular dad at home, at least in the eyes of his daughter. It's like a real-life blooper reel playing out for the world to see. And honestly, we can't ignore how relatable this moment feels. Kids, no matter how old or young, have this uncanny ability to bring parents back to earth. Even if your dad is a Hollywood star, you're going to roast him when you feel like it. It's that mix of honesty and humor that makes family dynamics so fun to watch. Wyatt's remark wasn't just funny, it was a tiny act of rebellion, the kind that keeps parents humble. What's wild is how much of a splash this made. Let's face it, people love tearing down the polished image of a celebrity. He has spent years building his brand, but a 10-year-old with a quick wit can turn all that upside down. That's the magic of kids. They don't care about your accolades. To them, you're just dad. And sometimes dad is an easy target. This whole thing got people talking because it's rare to see public figures let their guard down. Celebs often try so hard to control their narratives, but Wyatt's comment broke through all that noise. It's not often that fans get a candid glimpse of these picture-perfect families acting, well, normal. And that's what hit home for so many. Even the most glamorous families have their uncool moments. It's also worth noting how bold Wyatt's statement felt, especially for someone her age. Most 10-year-olds aren't making headlines, let alone sparking conversations about their parents' public personas. But here she is, showing confidence and humor beyond her years. It's impressive and makes you wonder where she'll go from here. Will Wyatt carve out her own path, or will she ride the wave of her parents' fame? Whatever happens, she's already shown she's got the chops to make her own mark. This little moment also highlights how humor keeps families connected. It's easy to get caught up in life's chaos, but laughter has a way of cutting through the noise. The Kutcher-Cooney's household seems to have created a home where everyone's voice matters, even if that voice is calling you out for being uncool. That's a lesson in parenting right there. Let your kids be honest and don't take yourself too seriously. For fans, this lighthearted moment was a rare treat. Hollywood often feels like a polished machine, cranking out perfect images of perfect people. But the Kutcher-Cooney's household? They just reminded everyone that behind the glitz and glam, they're just like any other family. A mix of love, laughter, and a bit of roasting. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Wyatt's comment isn't just about her dad. It's about how kids see their parents, not as celebrities or public figures, but as humans with flaws and quirks. That's a perspective that's often missing from the glossy world of fame. It's refreshing to see, even if it's delivered with a cheeky grin from a 10-year-old. Wyatt's playful jab left us all smiling and thinking. She reminded us that humor is a powerful tool, It can break down walls, connect people, and keep even the most famous families grounded. And who knows, maybe this is just the beginning of Wyatt Kutcher's time in the spotlight. One thing's for sure, she's already proven she's got something special. From Wyatt's words to famous families in Hollywood, let's see how having a famous name can shape a person's life. Born into fame, rising on their own. Hollywood has always been a place where fame runs in the family. When you're born into the glitz and glamour, chances are you'll be standing in a spotlight before you can even walk. Some call them Nepo babies, and while the term gets tossed around with a mix of envy and critique, you can't deny the influence they hold. Sure, having a superstar mom or dad gives you a head start, but let's not forget, talent or the right connections goes a long way. Take Lily Rose Depp, for example. Being the child of Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis, she had the perfect cocktail of fame and good looks handed to her. She didn't waste it, though. From acting gigs to becoming a Chanel ambassador, Lily Rose didn't just dip her toes into Hollywood, she dived right in, showing everyone she's more than just a last name. But let's be real, would she have gotten those chances if her parents weren't household names? Then there's Emma Roberts. Her last name might scream pretty woman thanks to her Aunt Julia Roberts, but Emma didn't ride coattails for long. She's been grinding since she was 10, landing roles in American Horror Story and Scream 4. Sure, having Julia as her aunt opened some doors, but Emma's the one who walked through them. Still, you have to wonder how much of her success is pure grit versus having an iconic family. Zoe Kravitz. Now here's someone who oozes cool. With Lenny Kravitz and Lisa Bonet as parents, she's got music, acting, and style in her DNA. From starring in Mad Max Fury Road to turning heads as Catwoman in The Batman, Zoe's proven she's a powerhouse. But let's not kid ourselves. Those family ties certainly didn't hurt her rise to fame. Jack Quaid is another name you've probably heard by now. The son of Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid, Jack's breaking out with his role in The Boys. It's easy to see he's carving his own path, but let's face it, starting out as the offspring of Hollywood royalty does give you a leg up. Would he have landed the same opportunities if he wasn't a Quaid? That's a question worth asking. Speaking of rising stars, Maya Hawke is a name you can't ignore. With Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman as parents, it's no surprise she ended up in front of the camera. Her role as Robin in Stranger Things turned her into a fan favorite overnight. But let's not forget, having a famous last name can make audition doors swing open a little faster. Talent or not, she started the race several steps ahead. And who could overlook Dakota Johnson? Born to Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith, Dakota became a household name thanks to the 50 Shades franchise. But she's not just about blockbusters. Her indie film choices have proven she's got range. Yet there's no denying that growing up in the Hollywood bubble gave her a head start most actors can only dream of. Maude Apatow is another starlet benefiting from famous bloodlines. With Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann as parents, she's already got Hollywood's elite in her corner. Her standout performance in Euphoria showed she's got serious chops, but it's hard to ignore how much her family's influence played a part in getting her there. Then there's Blue Ivy Carter. Let's talk about setting records before you're even in double digits. With Beyoncé and Jay-Z as parents, Blue Ivy's already won a Grammy and performed on world stages. While her achievements are impressive, it's hard to separate her success from her parents' massive stardom. How many other kids her age get those kinds of chances? Hollywood dynasties don't stop there. The Fonda family spans generations, starting with Henry Fonda, who starred in classics like 12 Angry Men. His children, Jane and Peter Fonda, kept the legacy alive with Oscar-winning performances and iconic films. Even Peter's daughter, Bridget Fonda, had a notable career before stepping away from the spotlight. It's a family tradition of fame that's hard to match. And let's not forget Haley Joel Osment and Emily Osment. These siblings proved you can start as child stars and keep going. Haley Joel made us all gasp in The Sixth Sense, while Emily charmed Disney fans in Hannah Montana. Their shared path from child stardom to adult success shows that being a Nepo baby isn't just about luck, it's also about perseverance. Ashton and Mila went from young co-stars to building a life together, proving that some connections only grow stronger with time. A Hollywood romance years in the making. It all started way back in 1998 on the set of this quirky little show called That 70s Show. Imagine a young Mila Kunis, just 14, and Ashton Kutcher, a cool 20-year-old. They weren't exactly the pair you'd expect to be headlining a romantic sitcom, but there they were, playing Jackie and Kelso, the dysfunctional teenage couple that somehow worked. Now let's get one thing straight. Nothing romantic was brewing behind the scenes. Mila was basically a kid and Ashton was just trying to navigate Hollywood as a young adult. Now here's the kicker. Mila's first kiss ever? Yep, it was with Ashton. And it happened on screen. Awkward, right? Mila later admitted she had the biggest crush on him, which made that kiss even more nerve-wracking. Ashton, on the other hand, was clueless about her feelings and just as nervous because, well, first kisses are awkward enough without cameras rolling. It's a classic case of teenage butterflies meeting professional awkwardness. Fast forward to 2006, the show wraps up and the two go their separate ways. Mila's in a long-term relationship with Macaulay Culkin by 2002, and Ashton's tying the knot with Demi Moore in 2005. For years, they're just two people living their lives, occasionally crossing paths, but never quite reconnecting. It's like the universe put a big hold button on their story. Then boom, 2011 rolls around and everything changes. Ashton's marriage to Demi? Done. Mila and Macaulay? Also done. Suddenly, they're both single at the same time. It's almost like fate was nudging them, saying, hey, maybe now's a good time. And what better place for a reconnection than a glamorous event like the 69th Golden Globe Awards? Picture this. Mila and Ashton bump into each other at the awards, all dressed up and glowing. Sparks fly, but not in a cheesy rom-com way. It's more like an old connection reigniting. Soon after, Ashton invites Mila to a housewarming party, supposedly to set her up with one of his friends. Spoiler alert, that plan goes out the window pretty quickly. Instead, the two of them start spending more time together and things start to shift. Initially, they're all like, let's keep it casual. Think, no strings attached meets friends with benefits, but in real life. It's funny because those were literally the movies they'd starred in around that time. But you know how these things go. Casual turns into serious, faster than you can say Netflix and chill. By April 2012, they're officially living together. Things escalate from there. By February 2014, Ashton's putting a ring on it, and not long after, they're announcing baby news. Their first daughter, Wyatt Isabel, arrives in October 2014, and by July 2015, they're married in a private ceremony. Then, in November 2016, baby number 2, Dimitri Portwood joins the family. It's like they're checking off life milestones one after another. What's wild is how low-key they've managed to keep things. Sure, they're both mega famous, but they've always focused on their family and careers rather than chasing headlines. They've shared a few cute moments here and there, like joking about their parenting styles or giving glimpses into their home life, but for the most part, they keep it real. It's refreshing in a world where celebrity drama usually takes center stage. Looking back, their story feels like one of those long, winding roads that eventually leads to the right destination. They went from awkward teenage co-stars to partners navigating life together, building a family and a life that's solid and grounded. And it all started with a teenage crush and a little on-screen kiss. Isn't it funny how life works out sometimes? Is Wyatt Kutcher's bold comment just a playful remark from a 10-year-old, or does it hint at something deeper about Ashton Kutcher's private life? Could there be more behind her words than anyone expected? Tell us what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more.